how to work out how much of a product a reaction would make. The question is, calcium oxide, which is CaO, it's this stuff here, is made by the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. So if you heat calcium carbonate, you get calcium oxide and you also get carbon dioxide. If 50 grams of calcium carbonate were used, how much calcium oxide would be made? So the question is asking, if you have 50 grams of this, how much of this would we end up with? Oops. So what you do is, step 1, write the masses above the compounds. Call the mass of the compound that you're asked about X. So we're asked about calcium oxide, so we're going to put an X there. And the question says that we start with 50 grams of calcium carbonate. So we're going to put 50 above the calcium carbonate. Below each compound, write that compound's relative formula mass. So remember, to work out the relative formula mass of a compound, you add the relative atomic mass of the elements in that compound. So the relative atomic mass of calcium is 40, the relative atomic mass of carbon is 12, and the relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So the relative formula mass of calcium carbonate is 40 plus 12 plus 3 times 16, because there were 3 oxygens. Add that together and you get 100. To work out the relative formula mass of calcium oxide, it's 1 calcium, which is 40, added to 1 oxygen, which is 16. So the relative formula mass of calcium oxide is 40 plus 16, which equals 56. So the next step is you have to rub out the chemical equation to make an algebra equation. So we're going to imagine rubbing out all of that stuff, and we're going to put in a line to divide, and we put an equal sign. So we say 50 divided by 100 is x divided by 56. So we need to solve the equation for x, which means making x the subject of the equation. If we multiply this side and this side by 56, it's like moving this number 56 up to there. So if we rewrite this, we'd have 56 times 50 equals x, and 56 divided by 100 times by x, x equals 28. So that means that if you had 50 grams of calcium carbonate, you would get 28 grams of calcium oxide made.